She could get much better than this.
He freaking disappeared, didn't he?
Welcome to Still Talking
Oh,
Uncut. We're your hosts, Sean Rigsby. I'm Big Easy. Joined today by the whiskey legend himself, Mr. Van Fields. Welcome to the show, my man. Welcome to the show.
thank you,
It's an
thank
honor
you.
to have you here.
It's an honor to be aboard.
All right, we
Yes,
apologize for being a little late tonight. You know what
What
we
I
do
do.
when something goes wrong. We just blame Sean.
Yeah, I think y'all was just testing the old guy.
Just seeing
It happens.
how long you can stay up. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I apologize, man. Like I said, it's well, I always shoot for 9, but
Thanks.
I never get fucked unless it's Monday night.
right.
Always wind up somewhere, nowhere around.
Hey man, you got family. You just never know what the night's gonna bring for you.
That's
Always
it.
got something to do. So,
It is live.
Yep.
now what you drinking on over, Sean?
I am drinking on a few friend of ours. They're going to be on here very soon. Margie and Rodney Bradford.
Ooh.
It's a collaboration. It's their watermelon with Jimmy Jack's over there at in Pennsylvania. It's called Jimmy Jack's Shine Shack.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're
Very
good friends
good
of
drink.
mine.
Where are
Yep.
they at in Pennsylvania?
I'm not real sure. I've never been there.
I've never been there either.
I'll just Google it. So somebody in the comment section, Google where Jimmy Jack's is and let me know. So, I appreciate you. Drinking on anything special over there, Van?
Yeah, it's a McWater.
Hey, sometimes it's
Got to
all
work
you
early
need.
in the morning.
Sometimes it's all you need. So,
Man, son's beat me up for a couple days, and I've been drinking water like crazy.
you gotta hydrate. I'm hydrate during the week. That way, the weekends don't hit you so rough.
That's right. We have to do that a lot, don't we, Sean, when it comes to these hillbilly jams and festivals we have to go to.
You can't drink enough water.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you can't say no to free alcohol either. So it's like you're kind of
That's true.
chasing one with the other. As long as you stay upright, you're still having a good time. So
That's right.
I'm drinking on a Bud Light because I about lost my balls a few days ago. Go ahead and tell me a story. So, public service announcement: do not sit on a barrel while you are drilling it out with a hole saw. All right, so I'm sitting on a 50-gallon drum. I'm drilling it out with a hole saw, and the hole saw jumps out and grabs my shorts and runs right up my junk. And so,
Man,
I unroll the whole saw and I look at Phil and I'm like, I feel something stinging. I put my hands down my pants and I'm like, I'm good. I ain't bleeding. I'm good, man. I'm good. And he's like, man, you better go check yourself. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I ain't bleeding. And so I check again. I pull it out and there's blood. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I go into the garage, pull my pants down. It's hard to lean over and check myself. I'm a fat dude.
I know the feeling.
You start getting cramps and shit. You bend over too far, and
That's right.
and so I look down, man, and just my junk is covered in blood, and it looks like hamburger to me. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm freaking out, and pull my pants up, and go out like, dude, I need stitches. I gotta go to the hospital. So I hop in the car and I drive to the hospital. It's 15 minutes away. I get there in about 5 minutes, and I go in, I'm just flipping, I think I ain't got no balls no more. That shit's gone. And so I get in there and they take me back and I'm just laying there and they bring in like 10 doctors, women, and I'm just like, I go George Costanza, like I was in the pool. But
Jump
so they
in the
start
river.
cleaning all the blood off, and I got a gash about 1.5 2 inches long. And he's like, oh, well, it's not that bad. And I'm like, well, that's good. Can most of y'all leave? And so he ended up gluing me up, and I was good to go. So, don't sit on the barrel while you're drilling out holes. So I figured I'd share my story of, oh, shit, about lost my junk so somebody else won't. So,
Goodness gracious.
It was a good time, you know. Like you're right, Bennett. I missed him because it was in the old lady's purse. But anyway, so I digress.
No, the one I had open the other day.
Had to tell my story, man.
Hey, that's
But
funny shit.
I will say at the end, the doc was like, "Hey, man, keep the whole saws away from your junk." And I was like, "Doc, man, no kink shaming around here, bro. No
Wow.
kink shaming." So it was a good time.
But
anyways.
All right, take
Better be
over,
careful.
John.
Yeah, I'll take one cube.
so
Yeah, I done drank all the water I can drink, so now I'm gonna move on to something else.
You gotta have an easy balance. So
That's right.
it's gotta be a good balance. So
Yeah.
well, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us what age you got started,
how you got
family
started.
history, if it's self-taught. We just want to hear about yourself a little bit. We're
All
done
right.
hearing about me.
Well, most of the guys already know me. Some don't. So I was very lucky to be born into it. So I was taught by my father and my grandfather, and it's been in the family history for over 200 years.
It's
And
amazing.
I just fell in love with it, and I never quit. So I've been doing this over 40 years now.
It's a good amount of time. That's longer than I've been alive. I hear Tammy back there giggling.
Yeah, she is. She's real close by, but she's off camera.
Oh, that's great.
But I was very lucky and fortunate to have hands-on experiences, and I'm not going to say training, but it was a part of life. It was part of how we grew up and done things back in those days. And you went to the woods and you sat down and you watched and you stayed quiet. There wasn't a lot of talking. There was more like hand signals or a head movement. And once you caught on to everything, you knew what those were without saying one word. You knew what the next step was and what to do. So, but now this thing called social media, oh my goodness, man, the times have changed so much. You've got people that you can talk to, groups. Oh my gosh. And back when I was doing this, you kept your mouth shut and you didn't talk to nobody.
Yeah, nowadays
And now
it's like, look at me. Look at
it's
me.
it's totally different, man.
Yeah, it is. It really blew up during COVID. I think everybody worried about there being no alcohol in the liquor stores. Like, you know what? I'm gonna how to make my own. And
Yeah,
telling
well, and I feel like that was part of it. And also during that time, there was people that was like, well, I need to stock up on sugar, yeast, because you just don't know what, if
That's right.
you work a job and it's not deemed as essential, you got to do what you got to do to make ends meet.
That's right. I've pretty much done that all my life. I wouldn't just somebody went to school and a little bit of tech school and run off to the woods and done something because that's what I enjoyed. I held a 40-hour job since 1987, constantly working 40 and 50 hours a week. Plus, I'd say I started off with one barrel, and then I wound up the most I've ever done by myself was 14. So I would do a 40-hour job, and I'd go run 14 barrels. And that was probably 2 per day.
Yeah, that's a pretty big outfit there. 14,
Yeah,
14 barrel.
Man, that was back when I was a young guy. I go up now and I see something's got 14 barrels on it. I'm going to get the damn vehicle and leave.
Unless I got somebody to do most of the work for me, then we
Yeah.
can talk.
Yeah.
We got a young guy around here. Like, you got that strong back, right? Like, yeah,
I
I'm
don't think
game.
I can handle that anymore.
Depends on how
If it
little
don't roll or
little
have
after you
wheels
do
on it, I ain't interested.
That's right. It's got a motor and
Yeah.
wheels.
Yeah,
You're
pump.
right. Does it move by itself?
Yeah, right.
Hell yeah. So talk about some of your first recipes that you did. I mean, were they grain? Were they fruit?
Um,
Um, just a
I
mix of
started
things?
off early as just grains. We would do like a 3-grain scratch. Some people call it chicken feed, scratch feed, or whatever. We've done that. When I was growing up, it was whole corn, cracked corn, and we also done rye. And that's what we done through the years, and that's what I learned with. And as years went on and times have changed, you know, I never done brandy, but I have done some wine in my time. But you know, back when the TV show started and this and that, and well, you have to change with the times. So I started messing with a little bit of fruit. I've done some watermelon, I've done blueberry, I've done peach, and that's one of my favorites is peach. And I'm pretty well known for that one.
I like a good peach. It's hard to say no to a good peach, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
I just got back from South Carolina last week, and the peaches are just now hitting the stands. Right now, they're not the size of a baseball yet, but the 3 and 4 inch peach is coming pretty soon, and that's what everybody's wanting. So I'm gonna go back down this week, check the peaches out, and see what's going on.
Hell yeah.
That's gonna be some good stuff right there.
It's so you also have made some strawberry brandy, if I
Yes,
remember correctly.
yes, I have. I've made strawberry.
I'll tell you, when I tried that strawberry brandy, Sean bogarted a jar and drank the whole damn thing all night.
That was mine.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Was it this past summer? I can't remember.
No, it was the Winter Jam a couple years ago.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I've done
he
strawberry.
broke all night. He was swaying, and luckily his dad was
Sweet.
able to get him up to his room,
His
get him
dad.
into bed that night.
Hey, the trick tip to the hillbilly jam is always get a room on ground level. You don't ever want to climb stairs at the
Within
hillbilly
walking
jam.
distance. Yeah, I'm like, hey man, I guess take him up there, Papa Rick. He's in your hands now. We drove y'all back here. You get him up the steps. If he falls, I ain't gonna catch him.
Yeah, right.
Like, ain't no reason for both of us to get hurt. I'll call him an ambulance though. I'm down for that.
Yeah. We even tried to do hemp on the show one time, and some other fellows got wind of it on the show, and they decided to do it, and they told us we couldn't. So we were going to do that as well.
Okay.
We've done, I think my favorite corn I've done was actually fresh peaches and cream, or either Silver Queen white corn.
Mm-hmm.
We scraped it off the cob and put cob and all in the barrels. And man, that really come out good on the show.
Okay.
So are you used to fermenting with the cobs, or was that just like the first
Actually,
time?
I'm not going to say the dried corn or grains or corn with the cob, but the fresh corn, the cob itself has so much flavor in it.
Mm-hmm.
And God, you just break those up and scrape them and get the milk out of them and put it all in there, because that's where your flavor is.
So you're talking fresh, like fresh.
Absolutely.
Like right off the stalk, from the stalk to the barrel.
Yeah. Just pull it out of the ground and go.
It
Nice.
don't get no fresher than that. I mean,
That's right.
I could see, a lot of different flavor than waiting for it to dry.
Exactly. Somebody's wanting to tell us about rye step mash process.
I think he means more of a steep. I don't know.
But how
Okay.
do you do rye? And do you
Um,
do a rye? How do you do it?
I have done rye. I still do sometimes. A lot of people take rye and they crack it, and it gets a lot more peppery and hot whenever you ferment it and run it. It's got like a black pepper taste on the end of it after the finished product. Um, there's only one other person that I know of that does rye like me. I don't crack mine.
Yeah,
I
he's
leave
from
it whole.
Kentucky, ain't
Yes, sir.
he?
Yes, sir. I leave mine whole. It's more of a mellow, a real good mellow taste. It's not hot, it's not peppery, but it also does not have that corn flavor. So it's a totally different profile, and it's really nice.
So for anybody that does rye, you've never done it whole, give it a try whole. See how you like it.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know, you,
done some-
you might like that difference. You know,
It
that's
it may not work for everybody's taste, but me, I don't like to be burnt up whenever I take a drink. I
yeah,
like to enjoy the flavor in it and not be caught off guard.
yep. Well, and a lot. I mean, I think rye got a bad rap just because of that
Yep.
reason.
Yep.
That or people run it too hot, along with the spicy grain that it is.
That's right.
But um, what's your favorite thing to run?
My favorite thing to run, it would probably have to be cracked corn and peach. Those are my two favorites.
Okay, just just old school, easy crack corn with sugar in it a little bit.
That's it, man. That's it. That's what I was taught. It's not to say that, okay, I'm going to try this or try that. I do experiment some, and I use different grains, but my favorite traditional drink is cracked corn. And
you know,
I like to age it too. If I can get some of that good brown liquor, I'm good to go.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, man. Like it's all about what you like as a person,
That's right.
what fits your taste buds and what you enjoy, and because you're making it for yourself, not somebody else. So there's no
That's
leeway.
right.
Like there's no leeway of somebody else's opinion on your taste buds. You can't they can't be a judge for you. So do your thing
That's
the
true.
way you like it.
You can line 10 people up, and you'll have 10 different flavors,
Yep.
and you'll have 10 different people that like 10 different things.
So it's all
yep.
about what you like. Do for
Mhm.
you what you like,
That's right.
as long as you're happy.
But
That's all that matters.
exactly. And going back to the do it because you're happy, I know you're not going to give someone a jar of liquor that you wouldn't drink yourself.
That is correct. If I don't like it, you ain't getting it.
Yep.
I mean, that's the unwritten code, right? Like if I don't like it, I can't hand it to somebody else.
That's right.
That's just the way it is. Like
These festivals that we go to, there's so many people doing things now, and um, people are learning, they're trying things, um, and I found out the hard way, the easiest rule that you can do when you go to these places and you get offered things is you keep your lips pretty tight, because you don't never know what you get handed.
it's, I, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, I don't like that. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a try. I gotta try it to know if I like it or not. And then
Right.
if I don't like it, I gotta try it again just to make sure, because it might
Yeah.
be different second time. So
Yeah, I just wouldn't turn it up like a pint of ice cream, though.
no. I give it a taste.
Or like Sean just did. I think he killed the whole jar.
No,
I think he fills them up with water beforehand.
Oh
And,
yeah,
and he just pretends he's
Yeah.
drinking like that.
yeah.
Oh,
But Sean's not allowed to drink out of a jar. See, when Sean starts drinking out of the jar, that's when bad things happen.
Yeah, and then he gets that COVID cough.
Yeah,
Like it's real strong.
and then he starts sweating.
that's why I start with something that's low in the jar.
Yeah.
That way, if I finish it, I don't feel so bad. Oh shit! But yeah, some of those festivals you go to, boy. I mean, you get handed some good shit sometimes, and sometimes you get handed a tire fire.
Oh boy.
Oh man, I've had good things and I've had some awful things too, and you just learn to stick to yourself, keep a low profile, and just keep moving.
Just keep moving. Like,
Just keep
I
moving.
get distracted, man. Like I'm easily like I would so get in a white van. I'd hop in no problem. Like, yeah, you want to try this? Like, sure, dude. Let's get it. I'm easy, you know. Like I'm so easy. So
Yeah. How you doing, Miss Tammy? Yep, we'll be there in Maggie Valley for sure.
yeah, we're looking forward to that. Really looking forward to Maggie Valley this year.
Hell yeah!
I tell you, one of the newest things we've started doing is helping the nursing home up there, and this is our third year doing it. We're going to there's a list on Facebook on what we need for the people in the nursing home, and these people look forward to seeing us show up. And we talk to them, we shake hands, we love them, every one of them, from the first one to the last one until it's time for us to go.
So you said, what's the name of the Facebook page?
I think look under Blake Elledge. He could be tagged in with the Hillbilly Jam as well, but he's over the nursing home part this year. And for the last 2 years, me and JB Rader have made it to the nursing home and come back. So they didn't keep us.
All right, Sean, don't take Lemasters there, or he'll filter in and he'll never leave. So keep Lemasters away from the old folks home.
Well,
That's really awesome,
they got time
man.
for pudding cups, and
That's
that's
really
all he
awesome. That's really awesome. You guys do that every single year. I could see how they would be excited to see you coming. You know.
Oh yeah, man, they are really excited. They're lovable people, and they're just like we are, and they can't wait to see us.
That's amazing.
Yep. But so tell us, you ever have any hiccups while you were running anything, or did you ever have any close calls, or something that you want to tell people not to do?
Oh, sure. Where
Don't
do I
sit on a
begin?
barrel while you drill it out. That's what I'm gonna tell you not to do.
Don't put a drill between your legs or anything like that.
I thought common
Hey,
sense was.
It was
coming.
pretty far away.
Yeah.
Like I climbed up in shorts. Like
No, I've been lucky through the years. Um, I have been caught before. The only time I've been caught was live on television on the Discovery Channel, and so now, counting me, my whole family's been booked. I tried to make some rye one time and had an accident with it. I had a customer wanting 6 gallons of rye. So I set it up and something wasn't going on there right. It wasn't working off. It wasn't doing its thing. So I called my dad and I said, look, about the 3rd or 4th day, I should be pumping in and running. I said, we're on day 5 and 6 and it ain't doing shit. So he said, you still got that bag? I'm like, yeah. He goes, read it to me. And I didn't run about a pint. It was rye grass seed that the guy had thrown in the back of the truck for me. So I made a pint of liquor out of grass. Yeah.
That's a good way to learn.
That's a good way to learn. I tell you what, I tell a lot of people, if you ain't made bad liquor, you ain't made enough. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to the best of us.
like It happens in big distilleries. That shit happens, you know.
It does.
It happens every day from the little guy to the big guy. It's just a part of it, man.
Yep, it is a part of it. That's a part of the craft that you learn after you finish.
Yep. But so do you malt your own corn, or is that something you like to do? Or I'm
I
assuming you
have,
probably done it back in the day.
I have. I've seen my grandfather do it. You know, he'd take the old croaker sacks of corn and he'd throw them in the creek for a little while, and he'd bring them out. And then as soon as they start sprouting, you know, we get that off of there, and that would start our barrels up. But you know, with yeast strains and everything that we have these days, I try not to use yeast. I try to go all natural with what is on the corn, and most of the time that works, and sometimes it don't. You have to add some help to it every now and then, but you know, the least that you add to your grains, the less headache that you're going to have.
The simpler it is, the smaller the circle, the less problems you'll have.
Right.
If it takes you this much to cook, you're not going to have as many problems if you're got this big a circle you're cooking with. So
Absolutely. And if it's something you like, or you've added yeast to it, just like a guy that I really look up to, Alan Bishop, he told me, he goes, go to the bottom of that barrel whenever you're done and take some of that and put it in the refrigerator and keep it. That way you'll have it the next time you want to set your barrels up. And that's trying to save that wild yeast that's in that corn. And if it's something really, really good, keep it and use it again.
Yep. Well, no, he had posted a video. It was a while back about a yeast log. Basically, a log that he threw on a string and dumped it down in there, and over the time,
propagating log.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I would like to try eventually, but
yeah, that guy is.
Get you a stick and chuck it in your barrel.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty damn simple to me.
Yeah. That guy is a Frankenstein whenever it comes to the craft that we do. I mean, he's out there. He's way out of my league.
Well, and I really appreciate, people like him. They really dig into all the details, all the science and all that shit. But like me and Ian, we're all about simplicity,
Yeah, man, I am the most simplest person that you can even ever talk to. I mean, the way I do things is so simple it would blow your mind. And I have a lot of people say, well, nobody can do that, but anybody can do what I do. It's just taken me so many years of watching my family do it. It comes second nature. So
it takes years. Like you could do it, but it takes years to be able to do it well.
Yes.
Like anybody can do it, but it takes a while to do it well.
That's right. That's right.
And consistent. I mean, you might get one or two, good ones in, but to be consistent all, across the board, and for every jar to taste the same, well, fairly close to the same, for one month to the next, it's not luck at that point.
And you said something about getting hurt or something like that. A lot of people know my background. Some people don't. In 2003, I was almost burnt to death with alcohol, and I've done a documentary in there right after the Moonshiners got started to really show people how dangerous making alcohol can be, and that's how Living Proof started. But 40% of my body was burned, and something I'll never forget.
So how did that come about? Was it Did you have a leak in the still, or did you blow a cap, or?
No, actually, the way I set this one up, my steel, my mash, and my gas tanks were in a separate building, and the arm and the condenser was coming through the wall into a separate room. So I had the majority of it on one side of me, and the catch tub and the cooling drum on the other. And I had a cloth over the catch tub, because during the summer you get gnats, or you work at night with a light on, there's bugs going to be somewhere. So, you know, I had a flashlight on the tailgate of my truck, and I didn't feel like getting up and getting it. I reached in my pocket and I picked up a Zippo lighter and I struck it to see how much was in my catch tub. And as soon as I did, man, it was like the 4th of July. That catch tub lit up, and I picked it up and toted it out, and it splashed on me. And I had alcohol all over my clothes, and set me on fire. So, stupid things like that can happen to the best of us. So, always watch your back. Always think about what your next move is.
Safety first, man. I know it's
Hey,
hard
what?
sometimes, and it's easy to overlook, but you just keep it safe, man. Keep it as safe as you
Yeah,
can.
man, I have been in so many situations after that, helping others, or, it's me and Rick Gibson and some other guys went to a distillery, and his jar system was on it, and the cap blew off the steel.
The back
Well,
pressure.
the first one to jump up and put it back on was me. Sure did. I was not scared of it. I'd already been through all that crap. I just went over there and grabbed it and kept moving. And I think that saved a lot of issues there for that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, was
I
that
have,
that was that? Oh, go ahead.
I have seen the cap blow off, and a blue mushroom flame was coming down the sides of the steel. And I didn't even have a shirt on. I got on my hands and knees and I crawled up under the flame and cut the gas off, put the cap back on, went right back to work. So I'm telling you, once you go down that road, you kind of know how to walk it from then on.
Experience.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, whether it's experience you want to learn or not, you're going to learn it. So,
You dang right.
and better to learn from it.
Yeah, I mean, usually something like that, it only takes one time, whether you live through it or not. But if you live through it, then that should be the only.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I was out of work for 6 months, and I had to learn how to walk again. Um, Tammy, Sean, you know Tammy. She
Oh
had to do everything for me. My hands was wrapped up, my legs was wrapped up. I mean, she done it all.
You're tall and I'm short.
yeah.
You hear it in the background, right?
Yeah.
Must have been busy then, doing twice the work, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but so you were on the Moonshiner show.
Yes.
Um, did you have any good come from that?
Uh, First year was okay. Second year was not so good. Um, that was the year me and Ewok was on with each other, and I guess some guys from the previous season got a little jealous and turned me in while I was on the show. I'm not going to name names, but most of the people already know who that is.
Yeah, that's a shitty situation.
Yep.
That was right. That was what the day before the jam, wasn't it?
It was on a Wednesday. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
We were on the way up there that day. And if we'd have left 30 minutes earlier, I'd have been gone. Nope.
Yeah. You live and learn, I guess. Shit happens
Yeah,
for a reason, you know. But
that's right.
yeah, so talk about some of your plans from here on out. You know, what do you have in mind? You know, I mean, well, just tell us what you got going on now and then or
I tell you
whatever.
what, we've I got a lot of things happening. We got a movie coming up. It'll be out at the end of the year. It's called Uncle T's Farm Stand. And just to make a long story short, the town hires a brand new sheriff, and it's a dry county, but everybody stays drunk, and you don't know why. But there's one hellacious produce stand there that everything that's being sold on it is infused with alcohol. So they're either getting drunk on pickles or huckleberry pie or whatever. Then he kind of catches on. So that'll be out at the end of the year. I think Ewok is working on another one we started a couple of years ago called Dead Steel. I think we'll be shooting a trailer for it this summer. We finally got us a cameraman for that. And I'm looking to do some things for myself as far as a distillery goes. So that's going to be a good adventure, and it's on the way soon.
Awesome. Look
Good
forward
deal.
to the
No.
movie.
Huh?
So look forward to the movie. I gotta watch it. You know.
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. We got to go down June 24th and start filming our part, and that's right after the Beattyville. I think we'll be in Newport, then we'll be in Beattyville, then we got to run down to Florida and film for that weekend, and we'll be back home. So June and July is going to be pretty dang busy.
They're busy months.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. So what is your so I know you've run a lot of stills over the years. But what is your ideal perfect still run?
I would say a 60 to an 80 gallon traditional pot still, all copper. It could have a wooden thumper, or either it can have a copper can. It doesn't matter, but I like all copper. And you know, these days things are changing. You know, with tri clamps and gauges, and you know, I grew up without all of that, so I don't need gauges. I don't need clamps, but some of it's handy. People like to use gauges to watch their temperature, whether it's in the mash or up on the head, to find out when their alcohol vapors is going to start coming through there. But to me, a gauge is Rolex. If you don't have one, you won't look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So do you do you rerun your liquor or do you just put it well go ahead. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I like to run mine one time, but if I have something that I'm really not sure of, or maybe has crossed over and I don't really like that flavor, I'll rerun it and I'll make sure it's right the second time. The reason I only run it once is because the more you run it, the more flavor that you're going to lose each time you run it, and it's going to get a lot smoother. It's going to get a lot nicer. But I really like the characters that come out with it on the first run.
That's where all your flavors at. You know, like the more you run it, it's going to get cleaner. It's going to get smoother, but you're going to lose all. If you want vodka, make vodka. That's just where if you want flavorless, just be like, man, I want a neutral spirit.
Oh yeah,
Why bother, spending money on corn or other ingredients
yeah.
if you just want to,
Just go buy you a bag of sugar and
yeah, if you're just going to strip it down and keep running it until it's
have at it.
flavorless, save yourself the money.
Yeah, yep. But we like to support our local people as far as farmers or um, produce or anything like that. Depending on what's in season in our area, that's what we like to use as far as brandies and corn. There's 500 acres of Silver Queen or peaches and cream. That's your yellow and white.
Mhm.
We'll use that to support our farmers.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you could buy it, if you get something in state, I always get it in state if I can,
Absolutely.
and
Mhm.
that's how it is. That's how it should be. Love where you're from, and if you could get it there, it's probably going to be cheaper than if you have to go somewhere else and get it anyways. Like
Right.
you add up all the travel costs and everything. So,
Yeah.
and I tell you, people will be surprised if they just hopped on Google and looked for what they want. Like they'll
Mhm.
find somebody within a reasonable amount usually.
Mhm.
At least at least like when you're around up in the corn belt and things like that. I understand it's a little harder when you're down in the bottoms of Florida to find a farmer, but
Yeah.
but
Most of the things in Florida, you're going to get watermelon and you're going to get strawberries.
yeah, see,
Florida's
that's me,
had,
man. Like
Florida's had good strawberries this year,
take
and
me to the
this
fruit.
has been an outstanding year for watermelon as well, especially the seedless ones. They are very sugary and they've got a lot of flavor to them this year.
So do you? I've never messed with watermelon really. Do you get much flavor carryover with watermelon?
I done watermelon one time. I've done some watermelon wine, which come out very good, and I didn't use nothing but the hearts. I mean, nothing but the good stuff.
Just
And whenever I ran it, it tasted like the rind or the green part of the watermelon, and I didn't use that. So I've never messed with watermelon since. But
now, when you use the guts of the watermelon, what were they seeded and were
no,
they
that they were seedless.
nice?
And
That's how I did a wine,
mhm.
and I didn't strain it good enough, and it soured and in the bottle. Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, I did not have good luck with the watermelon, but strawberry and peach, oh man, I can go to town on those two.
I mean,
And it
I
looks
tasted
like
the
I may have a
strawberry.
bumper crop on some blueberries this year as well. Um, Looks like my blueberries are doing very good.
Mm-hmm.
I like me some blueberry wine. I'm all about that blueberry wine. So
Yeah, buddy.
I'm a firm believer, man. If it makes a fine wine, it'll make it a real fine shine.
That's right.
So I
That's right.
live by that. Like, so what's the biggest still you ever run?
Uh, Probably about 150-gallon pot.
Nice.
Yep. The smallest one was probably about a 5-gallon.
You hear that a lot. I mean, we all, a lot of people start small or, a little R&D one
Yep.
later on down the line, just so you know. So,
Yep.
a 5-gallon pot is great to have in your collection.
It is. That's a good experimental piece that you can use to explore some flavors with. That way, you don't have to spend a lot of money on ingredients. Once you get that down pat, you can move on up to 30, 40, 50-gallon and go from there.
Yeah.
But
And
a
then,
small still is a good still to have just to play with to figure out what you want to do and what your recipe is.
Mm-hmm.
and then you get to be like Sean and you treat them like Pokemon and you got to collect them all.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Hey, so while we're talking about that van, You remember that still that y'all run down there in Kentucky at the Moonshiners Ball?
I sure do.
Okay, I wound up with that,
Uh-huh.
and
Imagine
it
that.
wound up at a buddy of mine's distillery. He was using it, and so it at that point it had two electric elements in it, and he was rerunning some liquor that he had ran prior to that, and one of them elements got exposed, and it peeled that son of a bitch back like a pop can.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
That was right when he was about to come on the show.
You
And then
know,
it happened.
I hadn't thought about that. If you run alcohol in that thing and rerun it, and that element is not covered up, oh my gosh, man, that could be a time bomb.
No, they are.
What?
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Make sure that your elements are
oh man,
below
yeah,
that alcohol. Make
yes
sure they
sir,
got liquid on them. If
yes
not,
sir.
then and that's one of the drawbacks of it's hard to see where your level is. Like I would almost put sight glasses next to my elements. That way, if you're getting that low, and just so like, oh man, I'm down here. I ain't got much farther to go. I better
Absolutely,
cut it or do something else. So that's that could be that's one of the drawbacks of electric. It's hard to tell where your level is, unless you have
exactly.
sight glasses next to it.
I was working at a distillery a few weeks ago, and that one has 6 elements in it. But you can choose to run 1 through 6. It depends on which breaker you want to turn on. But you couldn't tell where the liquid was.
Yeah.
And the only way I figured it out is when you're pumping in, you can stick your ear to the tank and you can hear it go in. And once you don't, you pick your hose up out of it and see how long that hose is. And that tells you how much room you have from the end of that hose to the top of your cap. So that was very interesting on me to learn how to run that thing. But it took a while for me to get used to it. But like I say, I ran a lot of different ones, but that one there was the strangest.
Do you like to run worms or shotguns or?
I run a worm. I like to run a condenser as well, which is a double walled worm. I guess it's a coil wrapped around a can, and then it's got an outside shell on it
Okay.
as well. So what that does, your vapors go through there and they trickle down, and that whole thing is submerged except the end where the liquor comes out, and it works pretty well. We've had it tuned in a few times to where it would run 2 gallons and no, yep, it would run 2 gallons in like 9 minutes. So that was moving along pretty good.
Yeah, that's putting out some fucking.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
But back then we didn't have regulators or anything like that. We just didn't use them. We ran straight pipe, and shit, you could heat up and run in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And be gone. Nowadays, you can heat up and run and stay there for 2 days.
Yeah. Some people, man, they'll heat it up and they'll run a fucking beer keg for
18
14
hours
hours.
on a beer keg. But to each their own.
My patience is not like
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't benefit hardly anymore than you would if you run it normal, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the coldest you run it, the better. And I've noticed it all depends on where you put your water in that cooling drum.
Mhm.
It helps your flow of your alcohol. And then once you get that tuned in, you've got to tune in your burner as well and let your burner and your water work as one for a good maximum flow of alcohol coming out very cold.
So, what would you say the most important ingredient is? Well, the water, the grain, the yeast, or
I would say you would have to have good water.
Mhm.
You get good water, you get good mash. Got good mash, you got good liquor.
That's your base. That's where it starts. It's where all life starts is water,
That's right.
So it makes sense that if you got good water, that's the foundation to a good mash.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that fabulous H2O.
That's right. High quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
Water boy.
Rick Gibson.
Bobby Boucher. Bobby Boucher. Oh shit. But what's the biggest still you'd ever want to run?
I would say maybe around 200, 250.
And that's a pretty good sized rig.
Yes,
Yep.
That's a big boy rig.
Yep, that one's not out of the question, boys.
Oh no, that's definitely 250. That's obtainable.
Yeah,
That's a little more weighting than normal, but
yeah,
Hey, at that point, you get a buddy and you shift it out. You're all good.
yeah,
Just take shifts.
yeah.
absolutely. But so, do you have any events coming up, man, that you plan on going to, or
Yeah, we have quite a
know
few.
about?
We'll be in Newport in a few weeks. Then we'll be in at the
Is that the popcorn jam?
yes.
Okay, you be at the popcorn jam.
We'll be at the Popcorn Jam, and then we'll be at the
Bourbon
Bourbon and Moonshine Festival in Beattyville, Kentucky.
Old Beattyville.
We'll be
Yep.
there. Then we'll be headed back to North Carolina for the Hillbilly Jam. And I think we've got other things planned. There's some few extra ones this year. I think it's Help a Vet Shine. That's going to be in October for our veterans. And we'll just have to see.
Have you thought about coming up to the Farm in a Bottle?
The Farm in a Bottle.
August.
Yeah, the Farm in a
called
Bottle
Farm
at the
in a Bottle.
end of August. That's the new one. Old Dan Gray. Ain't that who it is, Sean?
Yeah.
I remember the name. Whoo!
It's in Ohio. It's a little flatter.
Well, you're doing better than me.
Yeah, hey, that don't happen very often, man. That's why I'm excited about that. Sean always comes to me and he's like, so and so, and I'm like, bro, I don't know who that is.
All right.
He's like, you met him like 2 months ago, and I'm like, well, just describe him to me. I don't know names, man. He'll be like, oh, short dude, blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay, I remember now. I'm terrible with names. Always have been.
He's like,
You
"Who's
know,
that?"
there's a lot of people that want us to come up into Ohio and do things. We could. I don't know when because we're so busy down this way.
So I like the one that's in August because there's a big gap where there's nothing. Like there's a month. It's at the end of the summer and there's not really much going on then. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's only 45 minutes from me, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I can drive home at the end of the night and sleep in my bed instead of in a crappy
It'll be like
hotel
Van.
bed.
He drives an hour to the jam. We drive 6-7 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours.
I just get up and go over the hill.
Yeah, it's all them are right around you. So even Beattyville, it can't be far. And
Well, actually, Beattyville is the furthest one. That one takes me at least 6-7 hours.
okay,
Oh well, hell, that's only 2 hours from us.
now
2.5 from me.
Beattyville's about 4.5.
4.5. Which fucking way you go?
Bro, straight down 75, man. It's about 4 hours. I mean, how far from Beattyville to Knoxville?
Yeah, but you know, the only reason I go to Beattyville is to hang out with Donnie's dog.
Jed.
He's got he's got the coolest dog. I took my cooler in there one day and he sat on it. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with the dog, Donnie? He said he's waiting on you to open it so you can give him a beer. He will not get off your cooler until you give him a beer. I'm like, okay.
That's great.
That's awesome. So, did you give him a beer? Did he drink it?
Oh, yeah. He drank it faster than I could drink mine.
Yeah, I figured that.
One
Yeah.
lick at a time.
Yep.
My man, I need me a dog like that.
We'll
Yeah.
also be at the Hazard Fest, and they're moving it to Newport Fairgrounds as well
Okay.
this year. But that's we're not going to set up at Newport. That's kind of our time just to walk around and hang out.
Mhm.
That's what that was my plan. If I made it to popcorn this year, I can't.
Yeah.
Prior obligated myself to some other things, and
Mhm.
so I'm not gonna be able to make that or the Beattyville Festival this year. Which kind of sad about that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm definitely going to the jam.
I didn't get to go to Beattyville last year because I had a few surgeries I had to go through. And Beattyville is one of my favorite places. So
Yeah, it was really awesome. We had a good time
It's
there
nice
last
to get
year. We all got drunk on peach brandy. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good time.
it happens.
More often than not, festivals and shit. But
Hey, as long as you have a good time,
Yeah.
and drink plenty of water, then you'll be all right.
yeah,
Drink plenty of water.
That's right. Don't skip on that water, especially when you're out there in that heat. That
Yep.
come at
That's
you
right.
quick, ruin your weekend. So you're not yourself when you're dehydrated.
hell yeah. But
Well, you got
go
any
ahead.
more questions, Sean? Anything else you want to know? Van, you got anything else you want to talk to us about? Anything you love to do or just whatever, man. We're all ears.
Yeah.
I was
Y'all just throw the questions out there. I'll answer them for you.
what kind of yeast do you like to use? Are you a bread yeast kind of guy? You like distiller's yeast, turbo yeast? Highly doubt it. Wine
Natural.
yeast.
Well,
yeah, I
earlier
mean,
you said
hey,
natural.
if you have to.
You hitting that jar a little strong, Sean. We've already covered this topic.
If you have to, damn, you better get you another jar. I haven't got a hole in it. If I use a yeast, I like to use a wine yeast, and it's Lavin.
Some old.
I like to use that. As far as bread yeast goes, it makes good bread.
Well,
We'll get a bread yeast guy on here eventually.
But years and years and years ago, bread yeast was fine. It was fine to use, but that strain has changed over the years and years. It's not the same as it used to be. So each time you use bread yeast, you feel like I'm going to Subway or something.
it works well with bananas.
It does work well with bananas.
Oh, so you're a bread yeast guy?
I'm a bread yeast guy.
Yeah.
I like to experiment with it in different things. Like,
yeah.
I enjoyed it
I'm
in
not
bananas.
saying don't use it. It works.
Yep.
But it's just not my favorite one to go to.
Well, and a lot of people like to shoot for like 12%, and a little higher than normal. I shoot for 9, 10, and I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it just like you said, it really depends what you like.
I've seen my grandfather use bread yeast more than once. Especially during the winter time when it wouldn't work right.
Yeah.
He would take a few packs and he would sprinkle in each barrel, and it would come to life. And like I said, back in those days, that bread yeast was very good, but the strains of that yeast has changed over the years. But I do not like turbos. I will not use them. No.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Well, and not speaking anything of, I'm not standing up for turbos in any way, but I have noticed over the years that I think people really get a misconception by what's on the package. It
Hmm.
says 24-hour, 48-hour. Like, no,
Right,
there's shit in the packet that you have to give time to settle to the fucking bottom.
right.
Yeah, it might be done fermenting in that amount of
Yeah,
time.
Yeah. What kind of flavors are you going to get in 24 hours?
I agree.
fuel.
Takes that
Nothing
time.
you want to
It's all
drink.
about. It's like
It's,
cooking a roast. You don't cook a roast in 30 minutes.
yeah.
Like,
There's just like a great white shark that's going to run down there and it's going to eat your sugar up real quick. And, your good stuff as far as your grains or whatever is left all by itself. And it don't have time to interact with what just fermented off in no time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're exactly right.
it just people are low and slow on their stills. It's like you got to let it go slow on. You don't want to rush things. You can't rush perfection.
Yep.
You know, it's like
That's right, man. If you're going to take time to learn the craft and do it, then take time to do something you enjoy and don't rush it. But there are some people out there that won't want to set up and be running the next damn day.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah,
that's their business. That's their choice. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty and the good stuff, you take your time with it.
Yep. Well, that's what a lot of people don't understand, that they're all about got hurry, hurry, hurry. Hurry the fermentation process. Soon as that's 1.000, they're like, oh shit, I got to throw that in the still.
Yeah,
Well, probably not the best idea.
I've I've had mine at 1.10
Mhm.
or pretty close to 1.000. And it was working so hard it was pushing the hydrometer to the other side of the damn barrel. I'd
Yep.
never seen that before. So that's when I called Alan Bishop. I said, look, I said, this thing's almost ready. And I said, this thing's rolling, man. I said, what the hell's going on? He said, save the yeast, save the yeast. It's happy.
Well,
So,
no,
I've done this all my life in 40 something years, but friends like you guys and Alan and Donnie, and I learned things from everybody.
yeah, you've taught me a lot over the years.
that's
Yep.
why we
Yeah.
do this show. Is so we can learn from you and everybody else that's been on before you and everybody else that comes after.
Yeah.
And not only does it give us the opportunity to learn things from you, it also gives everybody else the same opportunity. And that's what it's always about, spreading the knowledge that you learned.
Right.
Since it ain't so hush hush anymore. Like let's help
Mhm.
each other out. Let's help each other learn and try. Just
That's
like I'm
right.
sure I'm sure there's guys in here who have done rye and all they do is crack it, or some of them grind it to powder, and now they're thinking like, man, I'm going to give that a shot as a
Mm-hmm.
whole and see how I like it like that. So
I've had many a phone call, and I've helped some guys, whether it's in the backyard or if they were going on a show and they call for some pointers. I've helped more than one person win the damn thing. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but well, I think we've had everybody on here long enough, guys, and yeah, we're a little over an hour in, so.
All
But
right.
yeah, man.
it was an honor to hear you speak, Van. It was
Well,
a
thank
pleasure.
you.
I look
Thank you.
forward to meeting you at the Hillbilly Jam
We'll be there.
in
And
the other time.
if everybody wants to get there early, we usually there on Tuesday or Wednesday before it really gets crazy.
Yeah, the
And if
pre-party.
anybody wants to come up and chat or just talk a little bit, then that's fine. Because when Saturday rolls around, we don't get a chance to talk to anybody.
It's so
Yeah.
busy on there.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's awesome, man. So I guess y'all see each other at Beattyville. So
Yep.
hope you all have a good time down there. Sorry I can't make it this year.
Darn.
Darn. Yeah, I bet. Darn shit. We had a good time last year, Sean.
Hell yeah, we did.
I got you in trouble and everything.
Yeah.
We stood out by that pool till about 3:00 in the morning, just and talking and talking. That was a good time.
There's actually a pool in Beattyville.
At the hotel behind the Dairy Queen.
Yep.
Hey, that Dairy Queen
Right.
served breakfast. That's all I know. Like, dude, I woke up and they had
Really?
biscuits and gravy at
Yeah.
Dairy Queen. I'm about that life.
You can't hardly find biscuits and gravy in Beattyville.
You
Not
can't-
unless Teresa
Well, you
cooked herself.
That's what I say. You got to take about a 30-minute drive into town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have took that drive, but instead I walked across the parking lot like, oh, yeah, yeah. And then when I go down to Kentucky, I drink the Ale 8 because we don't get that Ale 8 here no more. So
Those L8s are good.
yeah, they are.
Yep.
They make you right. So, anyways, like I said, it was an honor to have you. It was a pleasure to hear you speak, Van. I hope everybody has a great night. Sean, hope you have an okay night. And we'll talk to everybody else. We won't be back for Memorial Day. We're going to take Memorial Day off.
Yep.
Sean's going to be in New Straitsville Memorial Day weekend. So if you want to come out and see Sean in person, I don't know why you would, but if you do,
I don't
he's going to
either.
be in New Straitsville for the like 52nd or 53rd annual New Straitsville Moonshine Festival. He's big time. He's going to be inside the building this year. So
He
know.
finally
There we
gets to go in.
get you an autograph from him.
Here we go.
Make him forge your mind if you want. I don't know why you would, but
Yeah.
all right. We love all y'all. We hope you have a great night, man. Everybody shine on.
Yep.
Thank you all
crazy.
so much for having me. I
Hey,
appreciate
It
it.
was a
Anytime, man,
pleasure, man.
anytime.
It was a pleasure, man.
We'll see y'all soon.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Jake, show me a jar.
Yeah.